And welcome back. We're picking up where we left off last time in Strategic Command World War I, the Cold Arms campaign as the Central Powers. We ended off the end of the last part on the end of the turn, so I think we are ready to basically go hit the end turn. The Russian national morale is below 30%, so we are moving towards getting them out of the war. And in many places, I think we literally just have them on the run. At least north of the marshes, I don't think there's enough Russians up there to just stop us. I don't think there is. I think we're just going to roll. I think we're literally rolling forward, and the Russians just be having a bad day. So we're going to cycle the turn. It's the middle of fighting season. It's the middle of July. Greek forces mobilized to defend Athens. Give you an idea of how well the Greek campaign is going for them. Taunt raiders are disrupting our convoys. Yep, blocking air imports. They do what they do. U.S. poet Alan Singer is killed in action while serving the French Foreign Legion. Okay. Oliver Hardy stars in A Day at School. Scientists report progress in spying and intelligence. We're up to 65% on the number 2. Industrial tech hits 3. Making over 600 MPP as Germany, even while being blockaded. Which is getting Austria-Hungary up over 350 due to the exports to them. And the Ottomans are almost at 250. Oh, 240 specifically. Oh, that's the Russians running for it. Okay, they managed to operate in a garrison to that city, so we're not just going to be able to walk into it. Oh, interesting seeing lots of French units show up on the Italian border. I guess the French have recognized the Italians are not doing a good day, and not having a good day. And those French units will definitely fight better than the Italians they're replacing. Okay, we got a good sub hit there. Oh, we might be losing detachment. Well, nothing concerning yet. If anything, more things concerning about their position than my position, which is a good place to be. U.S. protests against enforcement of the northern blockade of Germany. So, the U.S. is actually sliding towards us because of how little unrestricted naval warfare we're doing. Agent sabotage the mine works. Okay, so a little bit of MPP damage to the Ottomans. We managed to raid 4 of the convoy lines. Probably doing about 40 something, 40 to 50 something MPP of damage. Damage from bombing. Yeah, that sums up to what, 30. That'll add, so 30 plus 30, that's 60. Yeah. And we got Bulgarian troops arriving. Okay, so we don't need to worry about any of our stuff in our rear falling to Romania joining the war. Surprise Romania entry would not be a problem. Okay, let's grab the weapon upgrade here. We'll see what they do about the 3. I think their offensive here is falling apart, which is good for us. We'll take 1 to 3. Okay, it ended up being 1 to 2. You've got 6 supply. You're fully resupplied, okay. Swap these. Oh, because of the mountains, we're not going to be able to get it in there. Okay. Okay. So, effectiveness is... Well, the campaign in Greece is going along. We're trying to save up shells potentially for something in down here. Although we probably need reinforcements so we can push through there. And not very many. Probably like 3 more cores. Potentially mixed nationalities. the battle cruiser fully repaired. Unless the Russians done something stupid. I don't think we got any openings there. No. Okay. Up here, we definitely need you to recover. 2 to 4 is tempting, but I know we need to recover here. 1 to 5, also very tempting. That's a better place to take it. And this is 0 to 4, we'll take a 0 to 4. Oh, well, if you can't get to the position you want you to anyway, we might as well pull you back. Okay. Italian national objective fallen. And yep, the offense. Well, this is not even really supposed to be offensive. This is me just recognizing the Italians are weak and exploiting it. That's all I'm going to say about that situation. It wasn't supposed to be an offensive, which I think that actually describes the Verdun offensive, honestly, on the German side as well. It wasn't supposed to be the offensive. It was supposed to be the distraction. Okay, so we got a really exposed unit. Let's recon the one next to it as well. Oh, everyone's getting pinned. Getting pounded. Okay, this is the detachment behind it. Okay, so you got 7 shells, so dump one of that target so it's on no ground cover. Dump 5 into this target. So it has no entrenchment. Okay, progress moving forward. And I don't think we're going to find any particularly great vulnerabilities elsewhere. Let's have the battle line up a little bit. Let's swap you. Upgrade you. Weapons. And we can do the same there. And then again, we'll have infantry weapon upgrades on everyone on the front line, so that's pretty good for the Western Front. Well, I haven't even touched the Eastern Front yet. Let's do the Navy up north first. Yep, let's do the Navy up north first. think there's any ships in the close area of Dogger Bay. Let's, except for the sub, let's repair everything in port. Oh, you're actually not in port. Maybe one more hex. The sub here is actually for advanced sub upgrading. We'll probably repair it as well, but sub upgrade. I know you're not maximally upgraded, but we're going to send you out. You're inbound. If we had an open port, we could put you in the port. We don't have an open port, so you're not going in the port. Okay, we can get you back to safety. Get you back to safety. And then send you north. Oops, misclicked. I'm not too worried about the sub just randomly running into something, so we can take the short route out. Okay. You're inbound. You're inbound. Your supply's getting a little bit low, so it's time for you to start coming inbound as well. Oops, I went one hex too far. It'll be fine. Oop, found a dreadnought while trying to run the line. It's one of the reasons I really don't run the line. Oh, that's a bad day. We may be losing the sub. See how they respond to that. Subs are reasonably cheap, so if we lost the sub, it wouldn't be the end of the world. We don't want to be losing them willy-nilly, but it's not the end of the world if we lose one. Okay, so now we're on the Eastern Front. Yeah, when you're getting 1 to 2 trades with detachments, the other side's having a bad day. Yeah, they don't really necessarily have enough troops down. Well, I think they pulled troops off the south to go north, and now are probably regretting that they pulled troops off the south to go north because they now need them down south as well. The solution often to dealing with an enemy in war is give them dilemmas, not problems. Problems they can solve. Dilemmas, you can't always pick the best solution. And we've got the blue line. Ooh. This is... I didn't get this far. Up north here, I didn't get this far east in my previous run. Which was a successful run. The Russians surrendered. I just must have mauled them much more before we pushed them this far. Because, yeah, this is around about where they surrendered territory-wise last time. Which is maybe a sign the Russians aren't doing quite so well this time. Prepared attack, I'm getting 2-2. Am I that desperate? I don't think I'm that desperate. Get the attack going. At 26%, they're doing poorly. It's good for us. Good for us, bad for them. That's how you often want things to be, I suppose. Yeah, I probably don't need this. Let's operate this to go help out where it can be useful, which is down the Ottoman front. Because really, to suppress these partisans, I'm going to need three detachments. This is going better. The rating's going better. Things are going well. We spent a lot of MPP this turn doing a bunch of boat repairs, of course. So it's not like we're going to be able to do much purchasing. Which reminds me, we did have a diplomacy hit on something, so we're going to deploy on Denmark. A little worried about Netherlands going pro Entente, and that would be bad. So we're going to double invest there. In fact, I might overinvest. I might go to some of the other ones and put some in on the Netherlands. Because if they go any more pro-ally, we're going to start taking national morale hits. Or pro-Entente are going to be national morale hits. Well, I say hits. Hits to Germany and Germany only. So everyone else probably could be penny pinchers and screw Germany, but... Germany's really the only one that needs to make it through the war. Okay, I can't invest down there. Ottomans probably do want logistics, but we can't do there. Pick up command and control, make the HQs better. Austrians, at this point the Austrians probably need logistics as well, if we're going to be running this far out onto... Oh, you're at the funding limit, so you can't do anything until anything finishes. You can do something before it finishes. We finishes, we're going to MPP. Fair enough. Okay. Do torpedo boats have anti-sub? They do. Pick up a torpedo boat as the Austro-Hungarians. We've got a sub problem in the Adriatic that we need to deal with at some point. Well, assuming they're still in the Adriatic. They may have left. I don't think they have. Okay, let's cycle the turn. Let's see what the Entente does. Defeat on the Eisenhow, the loss of Undine, lowers Italian national morale. Austro-Hungary celebrates the victory. The loss of Minsk reduces Russian national morale. Greek forces mobilized to defend Sparta. Taunt naval units north of Scotland and blockade imports to Germany. Germany develops trench warfare level 4. Trenches get even more impossible to break. Up to 40% on the next gas shield production. Logistics hit 4. Ottoman logistics hit 1. Oh, I think that sub's about to go. Okay, so the overstrength unit there lost its overstrength. Oof. It's getting hammered. Although it's maybe a serious concern that the front line here for the French is currently held by detachments. Although the amount of artillery fire coming, oh dear. That was an overstrength 11 size unit, and it's down to 4. Mostly from artillery bombardment. Potentially. Well, I was about to say potentially. We're not in a good position to attack towards that artillery piece this turn. Probably won't hang around if we do get into a good position. Fighting breaks out in Petrograd. Norway complains at detente attacks on their merchantmen. Finland declares independence from Russia. I think the Russian situation is going downhill pretty quickly. Foreign Minister reports diplomatic success. Romania towards the Entente. Okay. We're waiting for trade lines. And the blockade, they're still continuing. Russian government loses control as disorder breaks out. Tsar Nicholas II abdicates and a provisional government is formed. Alexander Kerensky becomes Minister of War in the new Russian government. Kerensky appointment boosts Russian national morale. So I think that's the first Russian Revolution. Baghdad down from bombing, Third Corps destroyed. And so quite a bit of MPP damage from raiding. Okay. Russian national morale has probably gone up. Yeah, they're back up to 32%. Because the revolution gives them a one-off morale buff. On the other hand, they now have a completely new government. There we go. One of the major national morale objectives for the Greeks has fallen. I think that technically hits the British national morale. 3 is not bad. Okay, let's see if any of them takes that position. Okay, there's the sub. And the dreadnought. Run out and hit the sub. Alright, devs for attack. Oops. I could probably work with that. Prepare you. We're probably not getting attacked by the dreadnought. Hopefully not. Although if it is, we know where it is and we'll bomb it instead. Whoops. I didn't need to zigzag back so much. Go down and blockade that line. You're back at full supply, so you can come out and blockade that line. If we damage the supply on that port, in theory we're damaging the supply, the Italian forces there. You can get your weapons upgraded. It will be useful in the future. I was hoping there'd be no one there. Okay. Okay. Things are doing reasonably well. Don't quite have the force here to attack with. And to be fair, we don't necessarily got enough shells to be shelling effectively, which is delaying the attacks there. That's something that will improve over time. Don't think there's any more I'm going to invest in the Ottomans for the moment, troop-wise. Let's pick up gas shell production so we can get those shells coming faster. We're a little thirsty for them. And we'll take another level in logistics, which specifically is going to help a lot down here once the HQ is. I think there's probably someone in the city there. But otherwise, I think that's all there is going to be resistance as far as in Sparta. We got the guy there. I think there's probably a guy in Athens. So there's probably about 5 Greek cores blocking us. The Greeks are going to collapse in due order at the current rate. So this front. Oh, 2 6s. That's too good to pass up. That's what the French get for not entrenching. Okay, you can take over that position, which we'll have you do, because you're fully reinforced. We want you to pick up infantry weapons. We can only reinforce to 5 there. Getting the rail network, fix that. Okay, I'm gonna take a little bit of a gamble here. Get entrenched. You get your weapon upgrade. You get healed in case I need to do a rotation. Okay. And yes, the diversionary attack is maybe a little too successful. You got 3 shells. Okay. Oh, we're gonna have no air cover for the following turn. I think technically you ground yourself when you go below 50. But you're below 50%. We're gonna ground you intentionally, even just in case you aren't. Okay, so you should be able to get there and make sure the entrenchment's facing the right way. Okay. Get this one repaired before we send it back out again. And then I wanted to get all the ones over under 8 repaired. We need to get torque. Here we go. Up to the sub-war. We're coming back in for resupply. You're hopefully gonna escape. You're coming in. Oh, it's aggressive attempt. I can't resist torpedo. Okay. Yep, so that's, all the fronts are going well. We attacked here already? We have. Oh, we haven't even done the Eastern Front yet. Oh boy. You've got 2 shells. Probably want a little bit more before we go blow up that location. 7 or pull you further back? Let's pull you further back. Oh, I'm not going to resist that. Just got their supply line. The other team doesn't need supplies, right? I say, knowing they totally need supplies. Okay, so the artillery will be ready to go next turn. And then we'll basically blow up that roadblock and begin the push to Kiev. We'll see if there's anyone even in Kiev when we get there. Okay, I did manage to get there before we got there. That's on artillery. Interesting garrison. The fortress at Vilna is about to fall. That Rensburg should recon on it first. Okay. So yeah, the good old Russian front is having, well, to the Russians are having a bad day on the Russian front. As the attrition piles on and on and on. We weren't able to get to Podolsk before the Russians, well, We'll see if they reinforce it. They'll probably reinforce it. And probably find an alternative to garrisoning a town with an artillery piece. Although maybe they won't. I don't necessarily know how threadbare the Russian forces are at this point. Oh, we've no longer... we are, it's just not coming up on the Russians for whatever reason. Oh, of course, as I wander off. We got them down to 31%. They'll probably be back down below 30% real soon. So, as Germany, we should probably be replacing our destroyed cores. Okay, destroyed one in the queue for replacement. Could pick up a couple Dutchmans. I think we also got some techs that we can pick up with some Germans. Yes. Moving up in the world as far as logistics is concerned. French is concerned. Okay. So no replacements of those, so I should invest in something else. Let's grab infantry warfare. And the next turn, assuming we have the MPP, we'll grab the last command and control. There's, of course, this delay between when you grab it and when it shows up. The Austro-Hungarians. Oh, let's grab the spying and intelligence, the Austro-Hungarians, so that we... Oh, no. It's about to say let's grab it. I can't, because... Wait. Oh, no, they're still at full investment. They need to research something before they can get more. And we did the Ottomans, okay. So then the question is there anything I want to purchase as Austria-Hungary? I'm going to say no. I don't think we do. Could in theory grab some detachments, but I think we really want to... If we're going to Austria-Hungary, we probably actually want an HQ. Because an HQ would be a good addition for here. Okay, let's cycle the turn, and then we'll put the part break in when we get it back around to our side. Close to the end of the turn here. Your Shaba detachment suffers attrition losses. Whoops. Yeah, running our supply lines, apparently. Capture Salonika boosts Austria-Hungary's national morale. Loss of Vilna reduces Russian national morale. Chief of the General Staff. The revolution in Russia is the setting up of the provisional... the revolution in Russia and the setting up of a provisional government there opens up a new opportunity to weaken our opponent in the east. There is a Russian revolutionary in Switzerland called Lenin, who could prove useful if we would arrange for them to be sent to Russia, where he will be able to agitate in favor of the Bolshevik Party. Would you authorize the payment of 25 MPPs to send Lenin to Russia in hopes that he will be able to provoke further disorders there? We'll click on the notes here. The Bolsheviks are hot-headed revolutionaries who call for Russia to make peace. If this party were to gain support in Russia, then it can only weaken that nation's national morale and their determination to continue the war against us. Germany's decision to send Lenin to Russia in a sealed train was perhaps one of the most decisive events of the First World War. Not only did it lead to the Russian Revolution, but this in turn led to increased dissatisfaction among many armies and the civilian populations at home. Ultimately, the success of the Bolsheviks in Russia was to contribute to Germany's own collapse in the autumn of 1918. So this is not a decision to take lightly, which I would argue that, yes, this is not a decision to take lightly. So, what does this decision do? Well, first of all, this decision tells us something. The Russians have hit the point where every turn they have a chance to get an event where the socialists call, or the communists or the socialists, or however you want to describe them, call for peace, which will lower the national morale. The difference here between yes and no, as far as that is concerned, is if we send Lenin, it doubles the probability that happens, and doubles the national morale damage. So it sounds like a good thing to send Lenin. And if you've already got either France or the UK to surrender, you should probably say yes. Because all it's going to do is it's going to speed up the surrender of Russia. With one exception. And that is, you notice I said there's a chance they will get a national morale hit every turn. If you send Lenin, there's a chance you as the Central Powers also get a national morale hit every turn. And the chance is lower, but it also hurts more. If we were to say yes here, it would kind of put us on a timer. Honestly, in single player, I've got enough national morale. I could burn it. It wouldn't be a problem. We could burn it. We could get this to get Russia out of the war quicker. The flip side of that is we don't need Russia to leave the war earlier. And in fact, I would rather have Russia stay in the war longer and us keep that national morale, is where we're at. So we're going to say no. The meta solution here is usually if you haven't got either UK or France to surrender, or you think you're really close to getting France or UK to surrender, to not hit yes on this. The historical choice is yes, and historically things would go bad for the Central Powers, so it's probably fair enough. So we're going to say no here. The 25 MPPs is trivial. We're saying no because we don't want the blowback national morale hits. Bolshevik forces grow in strength in Finland. Workers in Moscow strike for better conditions. Fighting erupts between royalist and Venizionist Greek forces. Entente raiders disrupt Norway, German convoys. Entente naval units north of Scotland blockade imports to Germany and in the North Sea. New Zealand introduces conscription to make up for the declining recruitment rates, as, you know, the war isn't going well. Scientists report success in spying intelligence developments. We're up to 96. So the end of next turn, we'll get that up to level 2. We've hit trench warfare level 4 in Austria-Hungary. And they've got their production tech 1, so that's going to make all their troops cheaper to replace or to build fresh. Production tech has also hit level 2 as the Ottomans. 640 MPP as Germany, 374 as Austria-Hungary, and 238 as the Ottomans. The cruiser's back. I'm suffering the same fate as it did before. Different cruiser's back. Okay, this time our sub just decides it's had enough, it's leaving. Ottoman Empire loses 2 MPP, and more importantly, that's actually damaging our supply. Oh god, the artillery got 2 hits. We lost the detachment, but struck like the fact the artillery did some work there. Third Corps suffers attrition losses. Socialist agitation lowers Russians' determination to continue the war. So that's the event I'm talking about. So the socialists are lowering Russian national morale. I think there's a 25% chance that that does 25 national morale damage every turn for the rest of the game. Taunt naval units north of Scotland, blockades, imports to Germany, and the North Sea. And it would be 50. It would be 50% to do 50 if we didn't send Lenin. Okay, so not very effective naval rating. Although that's 40 MPP naval rating, that's not non-trivial. Ah, more Bulgarians come out of the woodworks, including the Bulgarian artillery. Okay, and this is where we're going to go ahead and put the part break in. If you're watching on YouTube, we will have a part up for you tomorrow, which is probably going to see us going to Greece. I would not be surprised. Well, probably won't be the part that tomorrow where we have Greece surrender, but we probably will get it done during the stream. And yeah, Russia is declining. I suppose we can go ahead and take a quick look at the reports and the losses, for example. Loss-wise, us as the Central Powers, 1% Austria, or 1% Ottomans, 4% Hungary, or Austria-Hungary, and 8% Germany. So 13% of our losses are on our side, with the other 87% on the Entente side. Nearly, well, 42% Russian, 9% are Serbian. The Serbians aren't going to lose anymore. UK's up to 20%. Although I think that at this point, this is probably mostly UK boats. France is a little bit difficulty reading that. 11%. 6% Italy. So there's the detailed losses. 47 Russian corps destroyed. Almost 10 cavalry corps. 8 detachments, 2 garrisons. And yeah, you can see the British fleet losses starting to stack up there. Graph-wise, let's focus on national morale. So national morale, we're over 110% as Germany, over 110% as Austria-Hungary. Ottomans are not super happy, they're around 64%. This is one of the reasons we're not actually pushing the Russians in the Caucasus, is the Ottomans are going to be successfully able to hold that line. They don't have counterattack capacity. They're not happy enough to counterattack. Although the Russians aren't doing very good. The Russians are down to 27%. Serbia's out. Italy's down to 64%. So they're taking double morale hit on the troops. I think the third one hits at 50. France is getting really close to that third hit. They're at 54%. And I think as far as the Entente is concerned, British are the happiest at 63%. That's still enough that they're getting double morale hit. Actually, no, the Italians are actually happier than the British. Okay, so the British have not been appreciating their warships going to the bottom, is what I'm going to say. And yeah, that's the state of the game as it is. If you're watching on YouTube, they'll be put up tomorrow. If you're watching on Twitch, this will be one of the midstream tea breaks. If we go for 5 or 6 parts, we'll have a second tea break. For me to go get cups of tea. But yeah, we're gonna be chasing the Russians. Although at this point they're starting to form up. Although maybe not down south. We're gonna be destroying Russian units. Maybe less chase. You may in fact need to fall back in some places to form a better conducive front line. Because the Russians are getting into position. But yeah, so part up tomorrow. YouTube, tea break. So until the next part, wish you all the best of luck and a good time. Catch you all in the next part, and bye for now.